Lots of trade rumors about DeJounte Murray lately. Could he find himself back in San Antonio?
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans, Atlanta Hawks fans, NBA fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Caught an article this morning that really caught my eye, and I thought, you know what? I want to talk about this with the community. Spurs fans, drop a comment down below. Hawks fans too, if you'd like. DeJounte Murray, could he find himself back in San Antonio? Would you want him back in San Antonio? Let me know. Hit the thumbs up if you'd like to help support the channel, and subscribe to become part of our wonderful sports community. So here's the article this morning. NBA trade rumors. Spurs eyeing an all-star guard. And this is from Hoops Habit. I'll drop the link in the comments like I usually do. The San Antonio Spurs have struggled all season, largely due to their lack of playmaking and no defense, but the trade deadline presents them with the opportunity to address that issue. One potential option could be former Spur DeJounte Murray, who is rumored to be available, and several teams are expected to have interest in him. There's a picture of DeJounte right there with Trae Young, and it hasn't quite worked out for the Hawks like they thought it would by getting DeJounte Murray from our San Antonio Spurs. As we continue along in the article, the Spurs traded Murray to the Atlanta Hawks, which was a shock to many of us, back in the summer of 2021. A controversial move, there you go, that has since turned out to be a great deal for the Spurs. The Spurs received 3 first-round picks and a pick swap in exchange for the all-star guard. Didn't we get 2 first-rounders and a pick swap, or was it 3 first-rounders? Yes, I don't remember. It also allowed them to bottom out and be in a position to draft Victor Wembanyama, and Victor, of course, is on our team now. While the Hawks just recently signed Murray to a 4-year, $120 million extension, they are still several games under 500 and are one of the more expensive teams in the NBA. If that doesn't improve, then they may look to see what they can get from Murray and potentially Trae Young. I'd be shocked if the Hawks broke up that duo already, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Our Spurs hit the reset button a few years ago. Maybe the Hawks are thinking, this ain't working. Boop, hit the button. Atlanta might not be able to get all the assets they gave up for Murray back in a potential deal with the Spurs. However, San Antonio could be willing to give up Keldon Johnson and Toronto's top 6 protected first-round pick. A potential deal could be complicated by San Antonio possibly having a high lottery pick in the 2024 draft. We probably will. We're the second worst team. If the balls fall where the balls are supposed to be, then they would get the second overall pick. They wouldn't get the first overall pick. Not going to be greedy. And then being in a position to select a point guard of the future. However, the Spurs need a serious upgrade at point guard now. When will then be now? Now. And bringing back Murray could solve those issues. All right, time for TSR Sports to drop its 2 cents in all of this. The benefits of bringing DeJounte Murray back to the San Antonio Spurs. He's a vet. He is a veteran now. And he is familiar with the team, the plays, some of the players, and the coaches. He would improve our defense immediately, and our defense has been abysmal all year. So that would be a huge upgrade there. He is a playmaking point guard, whether it is for his teammates or setting up his own shot. And since he's left, he's actually become a decent three-point shooter. He's shooting about, I think, 37% from this year in Atlanta. Not a world beater, but not horrible either. That being said, there are some negatives to bringing back DeJounte. First, what would we have to give up? The Atlanta Hawks gave us a plethora of draft picks. And if they're going to trade DeJounte Murray and maybe Trae Young in the near future, that means they're hitting the reset button. They're going to want those picks back because they're going to need them to rebuild their team. So they're probably going to want a lot of assets in return for DeJounte Murray, something the Spurs may not be willing to do. Also, if the Spurs brought in DeJounte Murray, where does that put us? Does it put us back at being a play-in team again? Maybe a 6 to 8 seed, maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower? Are we just kind of stuck in the middle? Good enough to make the playoffs every year now with DeJounte back on the team and the cast that's around him, but not good enough to win it all. That would be a major concern because we kind of been there, done that for a few years, and it didn't work out. He also brings in that huge contract we talked about earlier. And the Spurs, while they have cap room now, you start adding on DeJounte's contract. You're going to have Wemby's contract in the near future, which will be huge. And then all the other rookies we've drafted that will need rookie contract extensions with their contracts going up. And it could start causing problems with cap issues in the future. Plus, if we have high picks, they're going to have more salaries, et cetera, et cetera. So my take in the end on the Spurs fans, while it's an interesting thing to talk about bringing a former player back, heck, the Spurs, Sean Elliott was a boomerang when they traded him back in the 90s. He went over to Detroit for 1 year, whoop, right back to San Antonio where he belongs. And I know some of you have talked about having DeJounte back on the team. My take is no, I don't see it happening. The Hawks gave up so much to bring DeJounte over from San Antonio to Texas. They're not going to get that kind of rate of return trying to trade back to us, so I don't see them being a willing trade partner with the Spurs. Also, from the San Antonio Spurs point of view, DeJounte did have some negative things to say about the franchise when he left, and I'm not so sure he would be welcoming him back with open arms. So I think both sides were probably going to say no to this. So I don't see this happening at all. If it did, though, like I always do, I'm going to root for whoever's wearing the silver and black. And if DeJounte's there, then I hope if he comes back, I hope he plays like the best DeJounte Murray that he can. So that's all I got, Spurs fans. We got some late nights coming up. We play a Portland Trailblazer tonight at 10 o'clock and tomorrow at 10 o'clock Eastern time for me. So I'm going to be up very late, but I'll be here, and hopefully you'll be here too. And can the Spurs win one of these games? We're in the midst of a 5-game losing streak. I don't want to see this thing go to double digits. Been there, done that once already this year. We don't need to do that again. So hope to see you in the chat. And DeJounte, wherever you end up, whether you stay in Atlanta or you move somewhere else, good luck to you. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, go Spurs, go.